Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Ayirebuah Speaks Literally. It's me, your host, Ayirebuah Ose. Okay, I was wondering where I was looking. I was looking at my lights. I should be looking at the camera. Hi, welcome to Ayirebuah Speaks Literally podcast. If you're listening to me, hi. If you're watching me, hello. This new phase of the podcast includes video, as you saw in the previous episode. If it's going well, tell me to keep going. If not, we'll go back to just the audio. Anyway, hi. So this is a podcast that talks about the random things and the random thoughts that shape my personality. And I don't know how exactly this topic shapes my personality, but I think it does because I'll be having a discussion with another sister. Last week you saw two sisters, and today you're seeing, did I say last week? Well, the last episode, you saw two sisters, and today you're going to see another sister. And I've sought help from ChatGPT, okay, to give me an intro speech on this episode. So this is what ChatGPT told me to say to you guys. Listen. Welcome to Ayirebuah Speaks Literally, the space where we have conversations about random things and random thoughts that shape my personality. I'm your host, Ayirebuah, and today we're diving into a topic that's often talked about in whispers, but deserves our full attention: postpartum and postpartum depression. Becoming a parent is a beautiful and transformative experience, but for many, the reality of the postpartum period comes with unexpected challenges. Today, we'll explore what postpartum really looks like, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We'll also shed light on postpartum depression, a condition that affects millions of mothers and families, but is still clouded by stigma and misunderstanding. Whether you're a new parent, someone supporting a loved one, or just curious to learn more, this conversation is for you. We'll be sharing real stories, expert insights, not really, and resources, yes, to help us all better understand how to show up for ourselves and each other during this delicate time. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's get real about postpartum and the healing that comes with it. Let's start the conversation. Yeah, that's what ChatGPT told me to tell you guys. But really, that's what the conversation is going to be about. So we're not going to talk about it as experts, but we're going to talk about it as people who have been through it. So my sister has been through birth, so we're going to talk about what life is after birth. How are the first few months, the first few days, the first few hours even, and talk about how we're going to just talk. So if you're ready, if you're with me, if you're sure that you want to get into this conversation, please stay tuned. See you later. See you later.
Well, damn. Hello, how are you feeling? So glad you tuned in. Let's get to talking. Nah. Ayirebuah speaks literally. Yeah, she's speaking literally. About things like literary. Whether happy, scary, or teary, she'll have you feeling very merry. She's about to kill. Nah.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ayirebuah Speaks Literally, the podcast where we talk about the random things and the random thoughts that shape my personality. Like I said earlier, I don't know how exactly this random thoughts or this random conversation shapes my personality, but I know who shapes mine is my sister, Nanama. Hi, you're welcome. So you're welcome. You're welcome to Ayirebuah Speaks Literally. How are you today?
Thank you, Rama. I'm happy to be here today. I'm doing very
Lufo,
well.
Lufo, Lufo.
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine. It's quite chilly, but you know. I'm managing. Why are you rolling your eyes? Okay, so like I said, we're going to talk about um let's say childbirth, postpartum, and postpartum depression. But before we go into that conversation, tell us listeners of and viewers of Ayirebuah Speaks a little bit about yourself, something interesting about you. Like maybe I'm your favorite sister, anything.
I'm Nanama. Hi everyone, I'm Nama. I'm a pharmacist. Um, I'm a mom of two, and I love life.
Hey, love life. Wow. Okay, that's very nice. So, guys, this is one of my sisters. In the last episode, we mentioned her when we're talking about anyway, go and listen to that episode and you hear what I said about her. Okay, so first of all, how are my babies doing? Are they fine? Have you fed them? Is everything cool?
Yeah, everybody's fine. They are asleep now.
Hmm. That's where you come out to play. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's start with the conversation, shall we? Um, let's take it back a little bit, a few years ago, before you even um started the pregnancy or the childbirth journey. What were the conceptions you had about pregnancy and childbirth?
Um, I thought, what everything I knew or thought I knew was from the movies. So, um, I thought it would be a smooth process. You know, in the movies, everyone who is pregnant. Okay, no, I didn't think it would be smooth. In the movies, everyone who is pregnant starts off with the vomiting and
Mm-hmm.
during the news, and everybody's all excited, and then you have the bump, and then you get to the uh, where you have to push, and they're always screaming. I wondered how it would feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was what I had in mind about pregnancy.
And
Nothing really special.
and when you got your first experience, how close were you to that conception, or how different was it for you?
Oh, the first one was very different. First I didn't experience any nausea, nothing. The only
Mm.
thing I couldn't stand the smell of in the first trimester was chicken. I couldn't stand the
Are you
smell of
sure?
chicken.
Didn't you eat chicken?
First trimester, no, I didn't. It was after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't stand the smell of chicken when they are frying, cooking, nothing. But apart from that, everything was smooth.
But you
No
liked
nausea, vomit.
gobe.
I ate a
Gobe.
lot of coffee. Yes, I ate a lot of coffee and I ate a lot of mango. Yeah, that's apart from that, I didn't experience anything, even from what I've studied in school. I didn't experience anything. Just like a normal day, I go to work, come back. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so how did you experience the postpartum period after giving birth? What was that like for you?
That was a tough one because I really didn't know what to expect. You know, in the movies, they don't show you what happens after they go home with the baby. They just show them going out of the hospital and then that's it. And being a first time mother, everything was new to me. How to
Mm-hmm.
breastfeed, how to know what the baby wants at what time, points in time, um, and even taking care of myself. So the whole experience was difficult because right after birth, you're expected to be taking care of the tiny human. No one else will take care of the child, is you. And you've had barely enough time to recover from the whole ordeal. So it's quite challenging. And my personal story is that I was in school, two different schools at the same time. I had
Hmm.
just delivered. So I had to juggle school and um taking care of the baby. And it was overwhelming at a point. but I had a great support system. I had my parents, I had my in-laws, my mother-in-law and my mother, they were very great. And I had
Mm-hmm.
you also supporting and my husband as well. So they took the burden off me a little. So I don't know how the women who do it alone do it. They are super women, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a lot to deal with at that point, especially if you're a new mom, not knowing what to do and how to navigate all the challenges that come up.
Okay. Yeah. That is good. That is actually very true because a support system in any kind of situation, especially this one, is really, really important. I want to go back a little bit to ask, what were some of the biggest surprises about motherhood in general that no one prepared you for?
No one told me that after I come home, I'll be bleeding for like 6 weeks afterwards. I was like, what is
Really?
it? That was one. You will not sleep. Like in fact, look at my eyes right now. You will not sleep. That was also one. Your life, your life literally is going to revolve around the baby now.
Yeah.
That was something I was not prepared for. I was like, eh. I thought, oh, even with the help that I get, you can't overstep. They are helping you,
Hmm.
so you can't just leave everything to them to do. You get it.
Yeah.
So now I had to make like put on my big girl pants and make serious decisions. And now I'm not the Nana mother used to, come take a long nap, relax. I could go out and just go and window shop and all those things came to a stop. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So
So
that was a major change for me.
would you describe it as like having less time for yourself?
Yes, having less time for myself and having to think about um, a tiny human all the time. New
I like the
responsible.
way you're describing them as tiny humans. Okay. So, my next question is, were there any unexpected physical or emotional challenges you faced during your postpartum?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I before pregnancy I was a size 12.
Oh.
After please, I was a size 12.
Okay.
After after pregnancy, I gained so much weight. Um During pregnancy, I don't think I gained that much weight. It was after because my milk wasn't coming in. And
Mm,
I tried all sorts of like different remedies just trying to get it to flow. I was drinking mashke almost like 3 times a day, like it was
mm-hmm.
medicine. Brune and Katie. Eh, I bought some lactation tea.
Mm,
I was bloated all of a sudden. It like happened overnight. I slept and woke up and I was big. So you were here when I started my weight loss journey. You know the work I put into it to lose all that weight. And
yeah.
then I just gained, it was even more than the weight
What
I
you
had
lost.
when I started the weight loss journey. So it really had an impact on my self-esteem at that time. But then again, I thought I was like, you just created a whole human being.
Yeah.
That that is a lot of it takes a toll on your body. You should be proud of yourself and you've done it before, you can do it again. So I motivated myself with those words and I didn't feel too bad about it. And then emotionally too, the hormones, the hormones. I was like, sorry, the mood swings it was too much. I'll cry over the littlest things. I remember I had an argument with my mom over the type of feeding bottle she was using for the baby. And I was crying, crying. And I know you were laughing at me. You were trying to console me, but you were laughing at me at the same time because the way I was crying, I was as if someone had died or something. No, it was a feeding bottle. I was like, use the anti-colic bottle. Don't use any. And then I just,
And she's like, and then she's like, and then colic. About colic. Our colic is to say colic.
and then I was crying like someone had died.
You don't understand, please.
So, and just the littlest things you be crying, you have mood swings, and you're all excited and then you're angry. So yeah, that was also I was because I was not an emotional person like that before leaving bed. So the crying, the anger, the sadness, it was too much as well. But
Mhm.
it's all settled at some point.
Did you have a way of managing those emotions?
I didn't. It was my first time. I didn't even know what was happening to me. I was like, "Ah, what's all this? Why am I crying over a feeding bottle?" Sometimes I look back and I laugh so much at some of the things that I used to cry about. Some of the stories come between my husband and I. You will just burst out laughing. But very little things I'll be crying. And so it was the first time. The second time around, I managed my emotions better. I mean,
Yeah.
it is still there. You have like the best styles and things, but the crying and those things. I think I've managed my emotions better this time now.
Mhm. So you mentioned the weight gain, the physical change of it all. Did you feel pressure to bounce back physically and then also emotionally as a childbirth? Or how did you even manage or navigate that? Was there any pressure to bounce back?
Personally, I've been really big about being healthy, staying
Mhm.
healthy. So I was very into the whole weight loss journey that I went on. So initially, I was giving myself pressure that, oh, I have to lose weight before I even get pregnant again. So I tried, but life really, I just came to the point where I was like, no, I need to take it one day at a time because
Mhm.
I was juggling so many things at the same time, and I felt like doing that was going to give myself pressure.
More pressure, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take it one day at a time. It took me this long to raise a human being. I need to be patient with myself and I'll
Yeah.
get there again. Not as fast as the first time, but I'll get there. So
That's the
I when I
word.
felt that pressure, I didn't get pressure from anybody. Everybody was very supportive. My husband was very supportive. He, like it was the support I got from everybody was just amazing. I
Mhm.
most of the pressure was me, was
Yeah.
from
You
me.
feel like probably there's an image difference for you yourself because
Because
you look at
even
yourself.
how I struggled to lose all that weight, all the
Yeah.
vegetables I was chewing and the exercises, I put in so much work only to just, so I was feeling very, very bad. I'll not lie about it. So I was giving myself unnecessary pressure.
Yeah. I don't think that there's any, well, I don't know how people feel. And you will never know how somebody in that situation is feeling unless until you have worked.
I think my
Um,
feelings were valid because I put in
yeah.
a lot of effort, but I came to that understanding that I should be patient. I didn't just, it didn't happen overnight. My body had been through so much. So
Mm-hmm.
I needed to be patient with myself. And the fact that I even wanted to get back there was enough motivation for me. So,
That's good. Okay. So let's talk about the differences in your first time and your second time around. How did your experience with your second child differ from your first? Were there any surprises the second time around?
so when they say every pregnancy is different, they are right.
Mhm.
Because like I said, the first time, nothing. The second time, I started vomiting. I was nauseous all the time. I was moody, and I
I
even
wasn't there. Were you snapping at people?
I was surprising. I had traveled when I found out that I was pregnant. So the people I was working with, they were telling me, and I was like, ah, it's not possible. I thought I was being nice. It's like, no, 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 you've changed. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that I was doing that. So they laugh at me till they, and I'm like, oh. So that was like a different experience. I was also nauseous all the time. I was sleeping. I was sleeping all that. I'll go for a meeting and Charlie, I'll not hear one word. I'll just be sleeping throughout. I was sleeping a lot as well. But the first time, nothing. This one too, I was admitted in the hospital. Baby
Mm,
earlier than we were expecting. So it was a completely different experience with this pregnancy compared to the first.
okay. And there'll definitely be a difference in your postpartum experience as well compared to your first.
Definitely. Yeah, it was very different. The first, I didn't know what to expect. The second day, I was Magajia. Even though it was also a different experience because now I was handling a toddler and then a newborn.
Mm,
The toddler too has reached the no, 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 no phase. The phase where all they say is no. And it's quite frustrating. Then you're handling the newborn. The newborn, you know what to expect, but it still can get frustrating. So even though I knew what to expect with the newborn, it was also um a tough time a little. But again, I have support. I have a support system, so it took the burden away from me a little. My dad, my mom, they've been very great with helping me
navigate everything.
navigate everything this time around. So it's yeah, the difference is there. There's a difference between the first and then the second.
Okay. Now I want us to give a better understanding on what exactly postpartum is because your my basic understanding or what I've always been working with is that postpartum means when you've given birth, the period after that. That whole period is your postpartum. But upon reading an article from the Cleveland Clinic, I learned that it generally eh, lasts 6 to 8 weeks. Basically your body has gone through many physical and emotional changes during that time. And so some symptoms um some symptoms or care or some things happen during your postpartum which can last months. Some people it lasts longer. So what were some of the things that you experienced during your postpartum? And am I wrong in thinking that postpartum should last longer than the 8 weeks?
Why do you want it to last longer?
I don't
It's
know. My mind is thinking that
starting
postpartum,
telling
that's
you what postpartum is. So yeah, postpartum is basically it lasts for like 8 weeks where your body bounces back, literally. Your uterus expands when you're pregnant, so it has to go back. Remember, after I gave birth and you saw me, you're like, ah, did you just give birth? Why is your stomach still big?
yeah.
But with
Don't make
time,
it sound like I'm stupid.
well, we all thought that they are not stopping. I was also like, why is it air that is there? Or what? So with time, it shrunk and my tummy became that's the uterus contracting and going back to its normal size.
Mhm.
Then there are other symptoms like mood swings, um, what else? The thing I have in my wrist called carpal tunnel syndrome. There was like
Yeah.
pain in my wrist. There are so many symptoms. I can't think of all of them right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That carpal tunnel thing was really fascinating to me because I was like, what exactly is happening to your hand? I read about it and It's just something that occurs when the median nerve in the wrist is compressed, and pregnancy is one of the causes. Other causes include repetitive hand activity, diabetes, tendon inflammation, a wrist fracture, menopause, thyroid, so many other things. But yeah, that was also a very interesting thing for me.
Yeah, you've hit the nail right on the head. You said repetitive hand activities. When you give birth, you carrying the baby, even the breastfeeding position, like this, you are doing the same thing over and over again. It also has influences your chances of getting that condition. So yeah, that was something I experienced,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it's still there. It's not one.
So yours is, you see why I'm saying postpartum is more than the
Oh,
8 weeks.
but sometimes some of the symptoms it doesn't go away uh, within the age. Some of them can stay longer than light will go.
Okay.
So,
So apart from carpal tunnel, I've also read or seen videos of people, of women after they've given birth. So there's the nose expansion, there's hair loss. I mean, there's a woman on TikTok that updates a list on reasons not to give birth, on reasons not to bother, because this can happen to you every time. The list is expanding. What are some of the crazy stories or crazy things that you've seen happen
oh, yeah,
postpartum?
just look at my hair. Can't you see the plenty hair I have?
Yeah, it's a lot. Wow.
So yeah, during the pregnancy, my locks grew like they grew long and they were thick and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, my hair is finally coming in.
You
Then
thought.
afterwards, the front, my edges said bye.
Bye, Felicia.
So all the locks I had in front just came off. Yeah. Then my edges grew back a little. Then I got pregnant again. And now it's going off again. So I'm praying that the God of my hair will revive it
But have you heard crazier things apart from hair loss from other women?
after pregnancy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay. What about the nose thing? Did your nose change?
No, no, no.
Pregnancy nose.
No, 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 no. For me, I don't think it did. Some people told me that it did, but looking at my pictures I took, no, my nose was the same. I didn't get those swollen. It was only with my first that I used to get swollen feet. When I sit for long, then my feet become like tubers of yam. Like that was
Tubers
that
of
was
yam.
that was the only time I got anything swollen. But apart
Okay.
from that,
I have a list, some of the things that um can happen after birth, postpartumly. So they of course they mention hair loss, they mention constipation, tiredness, vaginal discharge, uterine contraction, hormonal shifts, postpartum depression, which will go into hemorrhoids, leaking urine,
mm,
baby blues,
the
swelling.
leaking urine there is when your stomach is big. Oh, like even if you sneeze, car, you know, let me not say something.
Just tell us. We don't know.
No,
We want to know what we are expecting.
baby's head is literally on your bladder. So
Mm-hmm. When you
when
laugh, then you wee wee.
just a teeny bit. The slightest movements, a teeny bit. Then you just get up
Wow.
and into the washroom. The peeing is like, non-stop. Remember, I stopped sleeping on a bed and I was sleeping in the couch so that it would be easier for me to get out and go and pee. You go and
Wow.
pee and then come back and sit in the next 1 minute, you are going again because the baby is literally on your bladder. So
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
that is not something you can control.
There's something called lochia as well, which is a vaginal discharge or bleeding.
Yeah.
It's normal to have bloody discharge from your vagina after giving birth, which
That
can
was
last
a
for
shocker
up to
for
6 weeks.
me. I was like, why am I bleeding? I but I was told all of this before I came home to the hospital. Like, why after all this I'm going to bleed again for how many weeks you say? So it starts as heavy, then it will be
So it's like
reduced.
menstruation.
Yeah, it's like menstruation. It will be
Wow.
reduced. The color also changes from the red to clear. Then it stops.
Mm, okay. Other things that happen postpartum: sore breasts, night sweats, anxiety, pelvic floor issues. And pelvic floor issues is if you need to find out what happens to your body after giving birth, then you need to be prepared for pelvic. I'm trying to find it there. Anyway, I was trying to find the meaning. It's not there. Anyway, so yeah, these are some of the things that can happen postpartum. So yeah, on the list was postpartum depression. So let's get into that conversation. What do you understand by that generally?
I think the name is self-explanatory. But
Yeah.
so if you want my take on PPD, I think it's something it's very serious and needs to be talked about. Um, during my first pregnancy, I used to go for antenatal, but it was right after COVID, so I think they were now like finding their feet and everything. So we didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a class on that. But my doctor spoke to me about it. My doctor was great. He spoke to me about it. So that gave me an idea of what to expect. And I also read on it and all of that. Yeah. And I must say it's very real. It's not something that is far from anyone. Initially when they were talking about it, he was talking about it, I was like, this thing it won't happen to me. I have help, I'm a hard girl. I can take all
Mm,
these things. But girl, it's real. It's
yeah.
real.
Okay.
So I think it's something that we should talk about because it's really downplayed, and in Africa they think that when you say how you are feeling, you are complaining too much. But at that time, the woman really needs a lot of support
Yeah.
because her body has gone through so much. She's gone through so much emotionally, physically, mentally, and there's a lot of change happening around her. So that is she needs an outlet, and um, PPD is something that needs to be talked about more often. And I think
Yeah.
that when my second pregnancy, we had a class and it was a great session where we all interacted, shared our experiences, and we knew that we had like a support system in our facility where we could um, turn to if we were experiencing any of these things. And I think I should bring this up to there's something called baby blues as well. And
Mm,
that's the milder form of PPD. It's not PPD. It's the basic mood swings that you get after childbirth. And usually it resolves after a week or two. But PPD goes beyond that.
can
But
PPD last for years?
if you don't get treatment, you have to
Mm-hmm.
get usually the baby blues, you don't need any form of treatment. It will go away on its own. PPD, you need to get treatment. If you don't get treatment, it can affect you in the long term.
Okay. So let me just read what I have on postpartum depression. Um, from careinsurance.com blog. It says that the hormonal imbalances lead to excess emotions in females. Even weeks after the delivery, one can suffer from postpartum depression. Tiredness after pregnancy and irregular sleep patterns lead to improper routines. And all this can create feelings of anxiety, sadness, and depression after pregnancy. So when you look at your journey, first time, second time around, would you say that you experience more a weird amount of tiredness or a regular amount of tiredness? Which which is which?
It's a weird amount. None of it has been easy. The first time I didn't know what to expect, so that was tough. The second time, too, I'm juggling toddler, a new baby, school, work. So the tiredness has been weird, but I'm fortunate to have a great support
Mm-hmm.
system. So
Yeah.
they take the burden off me a little.
So this situation or this yeah, let me say situation, like you mentioned, rightly so, should be spoken about. And I'm glad to hear that your care provider spoke to you about what to expect um postpartum depression wise. And as I've read, it it comes as a result of your tiredness. If you're not getting enough sleep, um again, you are looking after a child that cannot communicate to you apart from crying that this is what's wrong with me, this is what I need, this is what I don't need. And so it's important for us to make people that are going through it feel comfortable enough to tell you that, look, I know this is a wonderful thing that I have done. I know this is a wonderful experience that I've gone through, but I am not happy in my situation. And nobody should berate them or think that, oh, you are doing this or you are not strong enough. It is a very real thing. As I've said, it's a type of depression that causes extreme sadness. So it's not something that will probably, like you said, it's not going to go away if you're not treated. And it's extreme sadness and despair in the weeks and months after you have given birth. So unlike baby blues that you mentioned, it doesn't go away, and it often involves treatment with medication or behavioral therapy. And uh, so yeah, do you think that there are treatments like that, the behavioral therapy in our setting?
Oh yes, there are.
Why are you laughing?
I think that so every pregnant woman, when you're going for antenatal, go with your partner or somebody in your support system and healthcare providers to have a class dedicated to PPD. Talk about it. It is real. We as our culture makes women look like we are super women and we can handle everything life throws at us. It is not that way. We are human beings. We are emotional beings. Um, we get tired.
Mm,
To have a class dedicated to PPD. Talk about it. Let women know that it is normal to feel that way, and but you can get help. Let their partners or support system know how they can help women after childbirth. That's something that can be really helpful. We just take it for granted and assume that, oh, the woman will be okay. Women can multitask and do everything. Like, no.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes some they don't someone doesn't have the outlets to, um share what they are experiencing. So create that safe space for women um, to know that no matter what, they, they have something that they can lean onto during that difficult period.
Yeah. Okay. Let's Thank you so much for that, by the way. But let's get into a little bit of joy in our conversation before we wrap everything up. Um, can you tell us um some of the most rewarding parts of raising children, raising in your case, two children, what are some of the things that they do that you'd be like, oh, what are some rewarding things about it?
So before you give birth, before I give birth, I thought, oh, after the baby comes, I'll forget about all the troubles I went through. That's what they say, though. Everybody I interacted with, they'll tell you that when a baby comes, you forget about everything that you've gone through, and it's not true. Well, to me, it's not true. I didn't forget anything, and it only got worse when I came home because it was just stress after stress after stress. But now that like he's growing, he started school, and when he's trying to communicate with you, it's nice seeing that you've been able to train a tiny human to to um to get to this point. When he says some things that he learns from his cartoons or in school, I thought that I get sure like, hey, you know all of these words, you know all of these things. Like I'm not doing a bad job, oh. Like
He knows the sound a cow makes.
you can make all the animal sounds, you can say you could say all of those things before he even started school. And so like it's just beautiful to see. But you don't forget anything. Yeah, it's
What about
beautiful.
your second child? What are some things that she does that are rewarding?
Hey, she's in a hurry to grow up. She wants to, when she sees her brother, she's always happy. She'll be laughing when she sees him. She wants to walk. Like, and she's right now, when we are eating, oh, she wants to join us. She opens her mouth, and it's just beautiful to see.
But it's not time. She has to wait small. She
Yeah.
was the one who came earlier than expected to.
Yeah, so she's
She's in
trying
a
to do
hurry.
everything quickly as well. So it's nice to see that you're making an impact in a human being's life. But we don't forget.
You say you don't forget yours. Okay. Okay. So what has been, so if this is rewarding, what about challenging? What has been the most challenging part of transitioning from one child to two?
Um, it's just trying to be there for both of them because
Mm,
having a newborn, you are the baby's food, so you have to be available all the time. And if you have babies like mine who didn't like feeding bottles, and like you have to keep on trying till they get,
mm,
you are constantly with a new baby. But I know that I need to give the toddler attention as well. So I try to do his homework with him, play with him, and I also need to rest.
you're giving him homework. Eh?
He has homework every day. I don't even know
What
why.
homework?
He doesn't even know what he's doing. Anyway, so yeah, trying to be there for both of them and also for myself, and then my husband as well. So I have to juggle all of this, and I'm trying. I'm a human
Mm,
being, so
yeah, you're doing well. Clap
well,
for yourself. Okay. If you could go back in time and give yourself advice before having your second child, what would it be?
wait. Oh, I would have waited maybe another year
Mm,
for Pupu to grow up a little, just a year.
okay,
Uh,
fair
I
enough.
think having hair now makes a difference because whatever you do, you give birth. I'm just trying to, push through all the challenges. Going through.
Okay. So, so far we've spoken about what you thought about before getting pregnant, how your experience was, and what happened afterwards. Your first child experience, your second child experience. So overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the whole experience?
Oh. I'll give it a 10. Why not?
Highly recommended.
Yeah, highly recommended.
Mm.
Nothing is easy in this world.
Some things are scary. Like I said, I've been watching those videos, whether it is when they cut you or when you push it
But I
out.
told you, I've told you, I had this conversation with you before. Before my first child, I went to watch those videos and I scared myself. So
See,
the whole theater experience was like I was just in panic mode. But remember, it was the smoothest thing I've ever experienced. I did not
that's
feel
what you
it.
see.
I didn't feel anything
That's how they get
during, after. After I went to interact with people, they tell you that "Hey, you can't walk, you can't do this." I didn't feel anything. I was walking about, doing my normal
But
thing.
that's you.
It was the second one. The second one that I felt, and that one, the toddler was on admission right after I gave birth. So I was up and down, up and down. So that's the one that kicked me, but it was because of that. But
Mm,
apart from that, it was a smooth experience. Now there are
mm.
painkillers and all of that, takes away the pain. So you'll be up and running in no
Hair
time.
loss. You're telling me
But
painkiller.
it grew back.
It
It
grew where?
again.
It's
That's why I'm
gone.
saying
Your edges have gone.
it's not everyone that goes through it too.
What if my hair? So yours, maybe yours is even a version 1. What if mine is version 10 and all my locks go?
No, it will not go.
Mm.
It will not go like
Ibehu, we shall see. Anyway, any last words to expectant or aspiring?
so I just want to say, do you listen to advice, but do what makes you comfortable and happy. And to expectant mothers, I want you to know that um you are not alone, and ask for help when you need help. It doesn't make you less of a woman or anything. When the baby comes and you need to, the thing about breast milk and formula, please, it's the same. Don't
Mhm.
say my milk is not coming, be anxious and all of that. Go to formula. A fed baby is the best. You have a peace of mind
It's
in
quite
baby.
ideal.
So just listen to advice, but do what makes you comfortable. Those who are looking to be praying with you, it will happen soon, and everything is going to be beautiful.
Amen. And any shout outs to your fans?
So I just want to say hi to everyone, my husband, my parents, my in-laws, my siblings, my kids, and all my friends. I don't want to
Your
mention
kids, will
anybody's
they
name.
watch it? Did they understand?
They'll watch it in future. But
Okay.
and all my friends, I won't mention names because I don't want to leave anyone's name out. But they know themselves. The love is deep.
Okay. The love is deep. You are so 2014. Anyway, thank you for joining us on Ayirebuah Speaks, literally, and for sharing your postpartum story with us. It was great having you. And I know we are speaking like we are civilized. When we get out of here, people will see the true you. They are sitting down like you are normal. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so guys, this was the episode, and I hope it's been informative. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's been songolarized to you. Um, I was joined today by one of my sisters, and she shared her personal experience with us, which we appreciate. And we hope to see her. She's been in a previous episode in season 1. If you haven't heard it, go see it. It's called From My Perspective. Wait, is it? I don't remember the title of the episode. Anyway, she's been in season one. Go and look for her. Her name is Nanama. And so thank you for listening and joining and watching. And this is the end for us. We'll catch you on the next episode. Say bye.
Bye.